We'll do it live!
Welcome to the Red Moon Saloon. Can I get you something to drink?
Welcome everybody to the second episode of the Red Moon Saloon. Your host here, Gooch, along with my main man,
Karazi, and we're here to talk about Star Wars: The Old Republic. This is your weekly talk show where we drink beers and talk about Star Wars: The Old Republic. I'm going to open my second one here. So we encourage you, listeners, to go ahead and grab yourself a beer, your favorite beverage, or if you don't like beer, get a mixed drink. And if you're not 21, then why don't you grab a refreshing soda. All of our views, we got a lot more than we thought we would have on our first episode. Thanks, I guess. So what did you do this week, Gooch?
Not a whole lot. Wishing I got into the beta testing this past weekend. Just a whole lot of homework, exams, and work. Nothing fun.
Well, that's what I did mostly for the week is homework. Getting in the last month of college here, and things are starting to boil down. But other than that, I got in the beta. But so Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I was on Star Wars: The Old Republic playing the beta. Can't talk about it because of the NDA. I can just give you my general thoughts. That'll come up in part 2 of this episode. This is November 16th, 2011, and let's get on with more news and updates. What do you got for us, Gooch?
First, we want to thank our first subscriber, Zolcan55. Thanks.
Solcan with the S.
That's what I said, Solcan. Not Zoltan, but Solcan. Zoltan. Thanks a lot, Solcan55. We appreciate the first subscribe there. We got a couple little guys here in the studio that are gonna help us celebrate here.
Did you say it was gonna be this many?
Whoa! So many of them.
Get off me!
God damn it, Harry! Fuck! God damn it!
Stay over there.
God damn it!
It's my beer. Hey! It's my beer, little fuck.
Get out of here!
Jesus.
Wow. Anyway,
I thought
thanks
you
to
were just gonna bring in a
Soulcan.
couple.
Yeah, thanks to Soulcan55, man.
Yeah, thanks a lot for our first subscriber. Other news. Sorry to the troopers. For our last podcast, we got a lot of hate mail and a video response from some angry troopers. We're sorry. We don't hate troopers. We just express our opinion that that's not really a class we find interesting, but that does not mean that we will not cover them with any news and things of that nature. We're going to stay up to date with the troopers. Don't worry about that. Gooch, what else do we got for updates?
We're going to actually have our first subscriber contest. It's going to be a trivia question. We'll talk more about it at the end of the show. The first one to respond with the correct answer, we'll say whatever you want in 10 words or less. Just don't make us say, admit to any murder that you might have committed or, defiling your favorite teddy bear.
Yeah,
so
let's keep it in reason. But
yeah.
Other than that, we'll say anything that you want us to say in our next episode. And we'll mention your name. You have to be a subscriber to participate. But yeah, we'll get more of that in the show. We got Mace Windu with us this episode.
No,
you said that you would talk for us in our podcast here.
it's very dangerous.
Oh, okay, well, whatever. We'll get into the first subject of our show here, Jedi Knight. We're going to be covering and talking about a little bit here, what information we got so far. Let's talk about the Sentinel. The Sentinel is the DPSing advanced class. Jedi Knights start off on the planet. What planet do they start off on?
You know what? That I am not sure. I'm sure we could look it up somewhere.
I totally forgot what planet they start on.
Yeah,
but
the beer will do that to you.
Yeah, but anyways, the Sentinel's advanced class. All classes get to pick an advanced class at level 10. Depending on how fast you go through your quest line. I've had a couple people ask me when they get their first lightsaber. I checked on the things that we know so far, and apparently they get their lightsaber on level 8 or 10. It depends on how fast you do the main quests. But before that, you have like a vibro sword or something like that, some kind of futuristic sword. I'm not sure exactly what they use, but it looks to be some kind of vibro sword. But anyways, the Sentinel has 3 talent trees. We've got Focus, Watchman, and Combat. Now it looks like Focus, the first tree I want to talk about, is a shared tree between the Sentinel and the Guardian advanced classes. The Focus tree is going to be more like PvP. It's got slows, it's got different things like that to help you chase down enemies and stuff. We'll get more into it when the NDA is uplifted, and we can talk more about the individual talents. But it looks to be Focus as a shared tree to give you a lot of mobilization and things like that. The Watchman tree is going to be more for DPSing. It looks like the Watchman and the Comet tree are both for DPSing. How they differ, not really sure at this point, but we know that they're both going to have individual talents and abilities that make them really great. Some of the cool things that Jedi Knight can do is they can shield themselves, they can throw their lightsabers, they can force sleep, they can do all that kinds of stuff. Their job is to get in there and do damage as the Sentinel advanced class. You'll be dual wielding lightsabers. You can upgrade your lightsabers through crafting professions, or the crew skills is what they're called. There's various crew skills that make different parts for the lightsaber that you combine, and you can put into your lightsaber through an upgrading system. But yeah, the Jedi Knight Sentinel is definitely the max DPS class. It's obviously going to be able to do more damage than the Guardian class. But I don't know. We'll let Gooch. Why don't you tell us about the Guardian tree?
The Guardian tree, one of the advanced classes for the Jedi Knight. I'm pretty sure the Guardian tree is going to be the tanking class of the Jedi Knight. It's got 3 different classes: the Vigilance class, the Defense class, and the Focus, which is a shared class. The Vigilance looks like it's going to be some sort of skill tree that increases your damage, more geared towards the tanking, increases your damage that way. And then the Defense looks like, obviously that's going to be the main tanking tree of that particular advanced class. Whereas the Focus is going to be a shared. It looks like they're going to be, focusing more on like some of the force powers, perhaps reducing the cooldowns of some things. So they're going to make it to where tanks are viable in PvP. It looks like most of the shared trees are geared towards PvP, but I mean, as of right now, it's all speculation here. Looks like overall the Jedi Knight's going to be a pretty solid class. You're going to be able to DPS with the Sentinel and tank as the Guardian. Either way, it looks like the Guardian's going to be wielding 1 lightsaber. Looks like it's going to be a pretty thought out class, pretty solid class here. So I'm looking forward to facing a lot of Jedi Knights or in PvP. So we'll see how that goes.
It's very dangerous.
Very dangerous. That is correct. So on to our next class then. It's going to be the Sith Warrior. Crosby's going to tell you a little bit about the Juggernaut, which I'm pretty sure is the
Not yet.
is the opposite class for the Guardian. So go ahead and take it away there, Crosby.
The Sith Warrior.
A Sith Lord.
Yeah, Sith Lord. That's what we're going to talk about. But the Sith Warrior, mirror class to the Jedi Knight. The Sith Warrior's got a lot of cool abilities. They get their lightsaber around the same time as the Jedi Knight. The Sith Warrior gets a lot of cool abilities. They get something called Seethe, I do believe it's called. That's where they get to recover their life and their abilities. I don't think... Actually, for the Jedi Knight and for the Sith Warrior, they have a mechanic called Focus for the Jedi Knight and Rage for the Sith Warrior, I do believe. Something like that.
Yeah, it's Rage for the Sith Warrior, yeah.
Yeah, you basically when you do certain abilities that build it up, and then you have abilities that cost. So if anybody's familiar with World of Warcraft, as much as I don't like to talk about other games,
kind of like the Warrior.
Yeah, it's the same as the Warrior with the Rage mechanic, basically. But the Sith Warrior Juggernaut Advanced Class. The Juggernaut is the tanking side of the Sith Warrior. They're going to be wielding a single lightsaber, and they get lots of cool things. Like they get a passive blaster deflect, so they can deflect the blaster bolts and have a chance to actually deflect them back to the person that shot them. So that's definitely a great ability for tanking. They have different abilities that make them take less damage and stuff like that. Let's get into our talent trees. We got Rage, Vengeance, and Immortal. Rage looks like it's going to be the shared tree between the Juggernaut and the Marauder. Rage has a lot of PvP talents and things like that. A lot of slows, critical strikes, stuff like that. Can't go into too much detail. The Vengeance tree has some DPS options in it. If you want to go down the DPS path, you can do that. And be it. We got an Ewok in here still. But there's going to be some off-tanking. BioWare said that there's not really going to be any off-tanks, but I can definitely see DPS spec Juggernauts off-tanking in non-boss fights. Like, for instance, if your healer can't keep your tank up, and you take over and grab some mobs and things like that.
Maybe on some trash mob too. You know, somebody pulls some trash mob, you might take one mob while they take the other.
They're saying there's not going to be any direct off-tanking in boss fights and things like that, but there's definitely going to be some sort of off-tanking there. The Immortal tree, it looks like it's going to be definitely the tanking tree. It's got lots of goodies that keep you from taking damage, different abilities that help you generate threat or aggro or whatever they call it in the Old Republic. I'm not sure exactly, but that's a Juggernaut. Gooch, you want to talk about the Marauder?
Yeah, certainly. This is actually the class that I will be rolling when Tor comes out. Pretty pumped about the Sith Warrior. A lot of cool abilities that they have. The Marauder is the main DPS spec for the Sith Warrior. There's 3 different trees. We have the Annihilation tree, the Carnage tree, and the Rage tree. The Rage is the shared tree. It looks like it's going to focus a little bit more on some force powers and the mastery of the form that involves that. Along with the Annihilation. The Annihilation tree looks like it's more for improving DPS for the Marauder. Not real sure about, the different abilities right now. Looks like there's going to be a lot of improved damage abilities on there. And then as far as the Carnage, it looks like there might be a couple of bleeds in there. 2 different forms, between the 2. So it looks like the Carnage tree is going to have a lot of bleeds, where the Annihilation tree is just going to be a lot of direct damage. So hopefully it's going to be cool. And, I look forward to playing the Sith Warrior Marauder dual-wielding Sith Warrior. I'm going to be a Sith Pureblood. Can't wait. I got my beta invite, so when they do the massive online, stress test, hopefully I'll get in there. So, but, it should be fun. We're going to wrap up this first part of...
That's possible.
First part of episode 2 here.
Not yet.
No, we have to.
We talked a lot of good stuff today. Thanks to SoulCan55 again. We talked about the Jedi Knight, a lot of the Sith Warrior, and tune in to our next part 2 of episode 2, and we'll talk about a lot of good stuff. I do believe we're going to be talking about Crosby's beta experience and a couple of the races. So hang in there, and we'll crack open some more beers, and we'll get at it, man. So
click the link. Click the link on the video.
Click the link on the
right
video.
There.
So we'll see you here in a couple minutes. This is Gooch, and along with my co-host,
Karazi, and we'll see you in a couple seconds.